One reason is, I think, the lack of other women in sales, well, especially in sales leadership, because if you have ever been a woman and walked into a sales floor, you're the mouse amongst the snakes. And they're all looking at you. They're all trying to size you up. They're all trying to figure out, how do I get her attention or whatever it might be. And, women deal with that sort of objectification of them everywhere in life. The last place that they want to do it is in their workplace. And so I think that's one reason why, is because there's such a male-dominated perception of B2B sales that they don't want to subject themselves to that because they deal with it every day already. I think the other reason that a lot of women aren't going into sales is because of the risk factor. A lot of women, you talk to them about going into sales, and the first thing that I hear come out of their mouth is, I don't know if I could deal with having a commission-only paycheck or a mostly commission-only paycheck because of the security that I need to be able to know that I can take care of myself and my family. And that risk is there for them because they don't really know and understand what they can do to mitigate those risks, what they would have to do to get those things. So there's the environment, there's the risk factor, and then there's also I don't see any other women there. I don't see other women that I can learn from. I have a lot of male sort of coaches and business coaches, and it's interesting because the way they can do things isn't necessarily the same way that I can do things. Our styles are different, and I can also do and say things that they might not be able to. So who do we learn from? Who do we see in these roles? And then what kind of environment are we going to be subjecting ourselves to by going into these roles? Those are the things that I hear from other women when I approach them with the idea of going into sales. And so for women to try to stand up for themselves is very difficult because then it's a double backlash on us. At the same time, though, there are things that you can do and say as a woman, I think, to start to change the culture. Say a gentleman or someone says something to you that you're not comfortable with. One thing not to do is to call them out in front of everybody, because then you're going to be embarrassed, and that's the worst thing that you can do, is embarrass someone in front of everybody else. But I would say take them aside and say, I understand that you probably didn't intend for this to come off that way, but this is how that made me feel, and how it might make other people feel if you were to do that in the future. So you might want to just be aware of that. I think that's one thing that we can do. But then the other thing is really having men speak up to other men. Like, hey, you know what, dude? That just really wasn't cool. And if that was my daughter or if that was my wife, I'd want to smack you upside the head. However it is that you want to say it, you can say what you want to each other.